Well, unfortunately, due to the amount of wind distortion on the Sony camera, I decided just to put some interjection here on screen. I'm going to try and follow where I can best as possible to give you, not to spoil the viewing from the Ascent of Meall, but unfortunately the wind is just so strong, it would be a source of annoyance to anyone trying to view this. So this is a shot showing the distant Angus Hills. So that you can just imagine what you're able to see in a clear day, but that's the hills away to the east. This is Quaich, just slightly north of Almory. We're looking down into Loch Fruki, and just a few miles further to the east there is Almory, hamlet of Almory, settled amongst the trees and stuff. So that's the Bran Valley there, which leads down into towards Dunkeld and stuff. So Strathbran is the name there. But as I say, we're on the slopes of Meall nam Fuaran, and I've explained why I'm putting in some of my own commentary here just now. So thanks a lot for your patience here. So I'm starting off pointing at the Auchnafee Hill. It's at the far north east corner of Loch Turret, and is looked down from Bennyhone or Benhonsey. And I've been mentioning here that I can see the snow getting blown in all directions on the high tops on the south side of Glen Almond. As I move round, I'm picking up on the mentioning the snow cornices which are covering Meall nam Fuaran, and I've mentioned and I want to stress that it's a very dangerous mountain because there are long drops, very sharp cliffs on the eastern flank, and they go a long way down, so there's no chance for you if you go over the edge, whether you're blown over or whether you go through a snow cornice. It's definitely a goodbye. I'm also picking up on is it Benagame on the opposite side of the Glen Lochan. I was up there a couple of weeks later. It was a very spooky day actually. It was very cloudy with mist and stuff, and quite gloomy, and quite I actually felt quite what's the word for it now, I feel a sense of dread. Maybe I'm trying to mention it was something quite awful about the whole area. I didn't like on that one, so I'm not in a hurry to get back there. But generally around about Glen Lochan, it's not too bad. I think it's such gloomy weather, and the fact that there's very sharp drops from Benagame. Is that how it pronounced it? I can't remember. Benagame. It's a pointy one anyway. And then I'm going to move forward up onto the higher reaches of Meall nam Fuaran. We've passed the easy stage. We're now reaching into the ice and snow. That's Schiehallion in the background. Aberfeld is over in the valley, and that's Strathtay, and then you go way over Glen Tilt, away into the High Cairn Gorms at the back there. But we're up here, we're approaching the summit, hopefully, of Meall nam Fuaran. The wind's blowing the snow come through that snowfield. It's not bad. That's why I had to give up last week. It was just conditions were too snowy. There's a lot of cornices down there, so I'm keeping away from the cliffs, which is the obvious thing to do. I've never been on this summit, so I believe it's quite a bit back the way. So I'm just going to have to mosey across here. We're quite high. We're over 2,300 feet already. Where's this looking here? so it takes my weight, this stuff. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, I'll put the camera off till we get near the summit, okay? It's bleak at the top, eh? I think we're just over here. I've not got the map, but I do it off from memory. It looks like a cairn over here. I know it was quite close to the edges over here. Doing not bad, it's just after 3 o'clock. I could have made it last Sunday when I came up. I got within 150, well, 150 metres, maybe less than that. But the wind was howling, much stronger than it is today, and uncertain of how far to the summit, and the lack of daylight, and the fact that the snow was, as I said already, pretty unstable. I decided not to bother. Yes, it looks like a cairn's over here. I'm pretty chuffed. This is one that's been on my agenda for a long time. If I managed to do it, it's here in Fuaran, and it's if you're coming down from Haverfeldy or Dunkeld on the A822, as you approach Amulree, you'll look over to the western horizon. You'll see the mountain with enormous cliffs. Well, that's the just in front of us there. That's the cliffs. That's the road away out there. So we're very high up. These are all the mountains that I said already earlier on that break up Strathearn from Glenalmond. So this is the summit. Well done. Look at the mountains over here to the Laws range. So we're definitely pretty high. I'll just take a wee bit of care here. I said to you that was Ben Honzie over there. I was wrong. Ben Honzie's over there. That's Ben Honzie. That's the Blue Crags over there. That's Connaught Hill. I got my geography just slightly wrong. I did actually think that first time round, and then I made the error by announcing it. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, so what we've got there is that's Auchnaffree Hill. There's a track that comes back down into Auchnaffree. The one next to it is over to the Blue Crags. It's Connaught Hill, and the rest of them are, well, Stonefield Hill is over there, down towards Thief's Cave and Kirk of the Grove and stuff. I've done all these hills, you see that? And then Ben Honzie, that's the only Munro we've got, and that's a. I did think to myself, why is there so little? It's the cliff that gave me the confusion. Don't worry, it's been corrected. As I say, I've never been up on this summit, so I think we're all forgiven at times to lose our bearings. And when I saw the height of that one at 2,500 feet, it was obviously the Blue Crags, but that's definitely the Munro. You can see how high it is over there to Benny Hole. Yes, that's over to Glen Shervie. I've been up there, right over the top. There's a hill called Garrow Hill. I don't know if it's that one. I think that is it. Or that one. No, I think it's that one there at the back. Well, the one that's facing us. That's another monster of a mountain. I've done that, yeah, it's definitely one. Yeah, so once again, the wind has just become unbearable for sort of public viewing. So what I've been saying is, you can see with the conditions, it's pretty bleak up there. Fantastic views to the north, the Monolith Mountains, you know, and over by Dalwhinnie and heading up towards the Cairngorms and stuff like that. You know, all in between. But I did mention I was going to try and go down into Glen Shervie and swing round to Glen Lochan. So that's where we're going to go, but we're not going down by Glen Shervie. We're taking a different approach, and I'll come back with that, and you'll see the extent of the route that I chose to get back to Glen Lochan and eventually back to Glen Quaich. I'm going to go down and round Bachna Free. It's 3:45, sorry. I think I've got time to do it. I think it'll be quite fun. I've got my torch. If I can get into Glen Lochan, it'll be 5 o'clock. So I'll not bother taking a photograph of the summit, because I'll tell you why, because it's got all these wind farms, and anyway, I took one photo, but I think what we'll do is we'll skedaddle on that pathway and get down into Bachna Free. I should have had that coffee and sandwich, but we'll get it down the hill a bit. How's that? Once I commit myself to this, there's no going back, you see. It's just been stupid, Andrew. For the sake of a new path. It's so beautiful up here, I just want to stay a bit longer. Interestingly, look at the snow. That's Connaught Hill. The blue crags are just along there behind that peat hag. We go down into towards Crieff, and then we're over to Auchnafree Hill. Carn Choice at the back, way at the back there, see that? That's on the western side of, sorry, that one there in the background, that's Carn Choice, west side of Lochan. And all the way along to the biggie, Ben Hunzi. Yeah, it's a pretty decent glen, this one. It's a long haul in from civilization. I've got to tell you that. There's no vehicular access allowed into the estate. So if you're walking up to there, you're talking 6 or 7 miles from the nearest public car park, which is a long way if you're planning to do some of these high summits. These ones here I've never been on, so these are all part of my agenda for the spring. Up into, it's called, there's a Stuck Chapel, something up there, Stuck Chapel Burn I think it's called, on the other side. But let's get the camera away, Andrew, because we've got a lot to do. And as I say, the daylight's not with us now. It's 4 o'clock. So I'm on this old Stalker's track, and with a bit of luck, we should be able to come right round the side of the hill. This is all still Meall Nan Fuaran. It's a big mountain, you know. It covers a big chunk of the map. But we'll carry on round as far as we can get anyway. And we should be able to pick up the track in the midst of Glen Lochan. So bear with me, I'll pick you up in a moment. So we'll come round the side of the hill on this old stalker path, and it's warm. We're out of the northerly wind, and the late evening sunshine that's breaking through. Sun's very pleasant, and as I said already, that's Auchnafree and Glen Almondale down there. We're going into Glen Lochan, which is just over here. But I want to try and make sure the point of that access here, we don't have any sizable water to cross. I think the water's on the other side if my memory serves me correctly. But there's so much snow melt that I think we'll probably encounter, well, it's a very soggy part of the country, as I remember, so I think we'll probably be into water, and that's why I wanted to get through here in daylight. I'm not so bad once we cross the marsh area, but for the first part of it it's going to be quite tricky. But this pathway, I'm glad I made the decision to reach out and pick it up and follow it along. This is a very ancient track. This is probably old gamekeepers for 200 years probably walked this, and the livestock as well, horses and deer. And, it's lovely. Look, this is March. This is all of Glen Shervie. It's really, really lovely. So we've come from Glen Quaich to Glen Shervie, looking down into Glen Almond, and then we've got Glen Lochan coming through in a moment, doesn't it?